What's going on, guys? This is Bossrosslp. Welcome back for more Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Justice for All. In the last session, a lot of shit happened. Oh boy, a lot of shit happened. A lot of cool shit, in fact. And we were working our ass into getting Andrews to be our killer of the day. In this session, I don't even know if this is going to be the final session or not. I completely doubt that it is, but you know, the way this game's going, it almost could be. It could just wrap up really easily and, like, you know, anticlimactically. But a lot of people consider this to be their favorite trial, so I'm assuming that's not going to be the case. That glass of juice, I didn't really pour it for myself. Ah yes, on yesterday. What happened then? I'm surprised when I walked into the room and saw it in that messy state. And Juan, he was sitting slumped over and tired looking at the corner. When I saw him sitting like that, the thought that he was dead didn't cross my mind. To be honest, I thought he had just fainted or something. So I went to pour some juice. What? Wow! When I realized I was dead, that's when I knocked the flower vase over. The logic behind this is so stupid, I don't even really need to comment on it, do I? So you poured that glass of juice for the victim. Why didn't you say so in your earlier testimony? I didn't think I needed to include something so trivial. Judge. Judge. If this was the real world, I literally think the entire courtroom would be laughing at her at this point. Nobody is that stupid. You can pull the stupid, like, the most stupid kid from your classroom, your very classroom. I don't care what grade you guys are in. You can pull the dumbest kid, the freaking idiot that either just smokes pot all day or does jack shit while everyone else is doing work. You can pull him over and be like, hey man, tell me this sounds like bullshit. And he will go, yeah. And that is all you need for this right here. Alright, enough bullshitting around. Let's just go. Come on. Phoenix, please be careful here. If you can't find anything wrong with this testimony, then there's nothing left. I know. Don't have to tell me twice, Mia. Even though you haven't told me twice. It's more like the 10th time at this point, but I get it. Edgeworth, what the heck is going on in that brain of yours? Now then, Mr. Wright, you begin your cross-examination. Thank you for adding some French literature into your speak there, Mr. Udgy. So let's keep going on with this. Surprised when you walked in the room and saw that messy state. So she just walked in and see him like, oh my, what a mess. Oh dear, he must have fainted. Allow me to pour him some juice. Like the state you would have to be in for that to have been the actual occurrence is literally so ludicrous. I don't even really need to argue that. I'd just be like, Judge, look at her. Oh, my apologies, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Guilty. It literally does not take anything. It does not take any sort of rocket science genius to figure out that she's a lying bitch right now. Yes, he was sitting there with his head tilted forward, eyes closed. He really looked like he was sleeping. In a chair. Well, I guess you can sleep in a chair. Is it just me, or did that right there sound a little odd? Well, of course it's odd, Phoenix. She's lying. And Juan, he was sitting slumped over and tired looking in the corner. Maybe he wasn't sitting in the corner. Maybe that's another thing you can go for. I don't know. That'd be a little simple. Let's find out. What do we got here? Yeah, it's not so much of a corner. That's more like there. Well, I guess it was a corner because it was like leaning into the bedroom over to the left over there. I don't know. Well, let's just continue onward and see what else we can press. When I saw him sitting there, the thought that he was dead didn't cross my mind. Phoenix, please ask the question, right? Then what did cross your mind? I thought maybe he had smashed everything up in anger because he lost the grip. Okay. I can kinda see that. And then felt tired after his rampage, so he decided to take a nap. Anyways, that's what I thought. I see. So you didn't think he was dead after all. That line, though, is stupid. He just fainted or something, like... I don't know, you thought he fainted? I thought he was asleep at first, but then the room was in such a messy state. I thought maybe he had gotten into a fight with someone. And that's when you went to pour the glass of juice? Yes, he always had a hard time waking up. So Juan always has a glass of tomato juice to drink. I see. And after that, what happened next? I don't know. Shouldn't you get water in that point? Like, wasn't there a sink in the room? Maybe. I realized he was dead. That's when I knocked the flower vase over. I see. And how did you come to realize that he was, in fact, dead? Well, I went over to wake him up and shook his shoulder, and then, like, all the blood started leaking down my arm and in my shirt, and it stained everything, you know? So she's wearing a sleeveless shirt, so... I shook him over and over, but I never got a response. So I set the glass down in the dresser and tried to take his pulse. I was shocked, and staggered backward. And knocked the flower vase over. So that's what happened. Yes. This is what it all comes down to. Huh? This is the absolute end for both sides. And Adrian is letting her guard down. Phoenix, now's your best chance yet to kill the prosecution's case. Isn't that a bit harsh? Miss Andrews, will you tell us the truth this time? So what exactly can we go about here? I've pressed everything except like the first line here. And this is probably just going to be some more bullshit shenanigans like, but who did you pour it for? But there wasn't anyone else in the room, right? Of course not. Then, who'd you pour it for? Mr. Wright, there's a rhyme and reason for everything. Can you just wait a little longer for it to be revealed to you? I don't get this. Like, I seriously don't get this. She gave us the whole testimony, and Phoenix is questioning about who'd you pour it for, even though it's explained in the rest of the testimony who she poured it for. Phoenix, why are you wasting time asking such bullshit questions? Come on, man! In other words, right? Be quiet and listen. Precisely, I couldn't have said it better myself. Come on, Phoenix. You know I gotta at that one. Alright. I was surprised. Gee, were ya? So, it was a mess. Are you sure it wasn't messy because of your fight with Mr. Kurita? That was pretty funny. I understand your frustrations not being able to prove your theory. However, before you go accusing people of crimes, go find yourself some evidence. And then, what did you see next, witness? Go. Wait a minute, was he slumped over? Yeah, he was slumped over. Alright, fair enough. He does look slumped over and tired looking. But the thing that's kind of strange about that is that he was stabbed, wasn't he, with a knife. So she would have noticed that. And there was blood from that. It was obvious that there was a knife wound, in fact. How could that not cross your mind? There was a knife sticking out of his chest, wasn't it? Yes, the crime photo. Was the knife sticking out of his chest? No, it's just the bloody hole. But seriously, the room was well lit. How could you not seen that? I kind of call bullshit on that one. I don't know. I'm gonna try and give that one a go. Got it. So you honestly didn't think he was dead when you found him? No, not at all. Even though this is what you saw when you discovered the body? With the knife? So there actually was a knife. I actually couldn't see that. That actually looks like a piece of his costume. I was just saying that he has a blood. Like, even the blood would be a bit suspicious. But the fact that there's a knife, just a little bit of a knife jutting out of his body. For fuck's sake, lady. What is the meaning of this? Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? There is a knife sticking straight out of Mr. Kurita's chest. Anyone who saw the scene would have immediately thought that here was a dead or dying man. That's, well, you see, I thought he had a hobby of ritual suicide. And you know what, if she had said that, I think I would have just called the case there and said, you know what, you win. I don't even care about Maya's life anymore. We all suffered through Mystical Ninja, the animated series, so. And not a single person in the world would mistake this for someone who fainted, and that so nonchalantly go pour something to drink. Your point is, Miss Andrews, your testimony just now, it was all uno giant layo. Stop breaking your glasses, and your lie has proven one thing very clearly, that you are the real killer. Damn. I didn't even have to voice that one. It looks like the defense has somehow brought the ugly truth to light. That was easy. What was that? That was simple. He's like, alright, we'll have a recess. Come back. Oh, by the way, go over your testimony again. Alright, I put it in use. Oh yeah, by the way, how the fuck didn't you notice this? No! That was incredibly simple. The defendant, Mountain Guard, is not guilty after all. But that's impossible. You're wrong. Miss Andrews, try to have some composure. It wasn't me. It wasn't me, I tell you. I kinda get the feeling it wasn't her, actually, now the way she's saying that. Almost like it could have been someone else, and maybe... Wait... Are we falsely convicting someone for once? Are we for once actually the bad guy? Next time on Phoenix, it's been for 11 minutes. It was Matt, I swear it. He's the one who killed Juan. Well, she could still be stupid and just not know, I don't know. But you were the one who refused to testify, and your reason for not doing so was that you might end up incriminating yourself. That's because... Miss Andrews, I will give you one last chance. What exactly are you hiding that may incriminate you? Oh my. Are we gonna get into the suicide note here? Getting the feeling. Where are we going from here, Reggie? I refuse to testify. Then there is no need for this court to continue any further. Miss Mountain Guard's innocence has been clearly demonstrated. Is it over? Have we found the truth at last? What's wrong, Phoenix? Usually the real killer confesses his or own guilt. And now I think about it, this is the first time someone hasn't. Shallow. Now then, I would like to hand down my verdict for Mr. Mountain Guard.
Objection!
Your Honor, I have an indictment to present to extend this epic trial to make it a personal favorite of the fan base. The prosecution feels that it would be premature to pass down a verdict at this time. What? The reason is quite simple. This witness has yet to speak the absolute real truth. I agree. However, we have proven that my clients cannot have done it. So tell you what, guys, let's call it off. I can go get Maya back, and then we'll continue the trial tomorrow. It'll be a great deal. Come on, you don't have to pass a verdict all in one big shebang. Like, even with someone like the original Von Karma, they didn't have to go through one big shebang all at once. Or like, we're gonna have a hold a separate trial for you, even though you're obviously the fucking killer. And you sort of admitted it. But we're gonna go through a little bit of like looping around. You're off the hook. Alright, your trial's the other day. Phoenix, you don't have to do bullshit. You can go take a nap or whatever. I don't know what you're gonna do. Alright, but come on. My client's not guilty, man. The absolute real truth. What are you... Witness? Don't you understand yet? Huh? I don't know who planted this silly idea in your head, but as long as you protect yourself through your silence, Mountain Guard will go free, and in this place, you will become the guilty party. That's That's a lie. I don't believe you. What? I was told if I spoke, then it would be all over, and Matt would never be declared guilty. What the world is she talking about? Has she lost it? I can't speak about it. I'm too scared. It's Franziska von Karma. Huh? Do you remember Phoenix? Miss Andrews is by gripping tightly onto the words of another, because she doesn't have the strength to believe in herself. Then right now, Miss Andrews is... Yesterday, she was tossed a lifesaver by Miss von Karma. Don't say a word, no matter what happens. If you do, Mountain Guard will be acquitted. Miss Andrews undyingly believes in those words right now, and is clinging onto them. Then what should we do? This is the first time I've ever come across something like this. Interesting. How do you proceed, Mr. Phoenix? Miss Andrews has to be the killer, right? All we have to do now is get her not guilty. That's my only priority. I don't know. Uh-oh. Phoenix, that's not really a good moral gap. Right there. What would Maya think, man? Well, I'm pretty sure she wouldn't want to die. I don't know. She'd probably be a little bit spoiled in this situation. I'm giving her, but I don't know. I think it's more important to get the right trial. Like in trial 2, she was willing to take the fall. She was willing to take the fall and say that she was the one that did it, because she didn't have anyone else to blame it on, so she was willing to take the fall. I get the feeling she's the kind of person that wouldn't want to give someone else up in her place. Phoenix. Understand the understandings of the woman. It wasn't me. I'm begging you, please believe me. I didn't kill Juan. Help, please, someone. Oh my god. This girl's got problems. Feel bad for her, though. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? The court can't continue on like this, therefore I'd like to hear what you intend to do. What I intend to do? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say? Right, I suggest you think very carefully about this. Think about this witness did and what she did not do. And think about who is the real mastermind behind this crime. Who's the real mastermind? Isn't that obvious? There's no one else could be except the woman crying over there. Right? Come now. What will you do? What kind of man are you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Wait, is this requesting a not guilty for her, or a not guilty for force Andrews to testify? About what? Why do I get the feeling like I'm going to be totally shit on if I get this one wrong? Alright, let's just go through both options and see what happens. Alright, what kind of a man am I? Well, right now what I'm thinking is that the good thing Phoenix should do is continue the trial in such a way where we don't have to go into a separate day, therefore Maya won't get, like, you know, detonated. Therefore, the most important thing is that we try and figure out who did do it. In other words, while I don't totally believe Andrews is responsible, I think there is someone else masterminding this whole thing. I get the feeling, a very strong feeling, that right now, what it's asking me to do is request a not guilty for either my client, or it's requesting a not guilty for Andrews. I want to request a not guilty for my client, but I don't want to do that yet. I don't want to request a not guilty for Andrews, because that would just completely make everything I've done for the past 2 hours completely fucking pointless, and that would waste the judge's time. Therefore, I think the only logical point is to force Andrews to testify a bit more. I have to win a complete acquittal today. There's no way around that. But I can't bring myself to do it like this. Not when she's making a face like that. Miss Andrews, I would like to know what you are really hiding. Mr. Wright, are you sure you know what you're doing? Sure, Mr. Unguard would get an acquittal, but in his place, you would be found guilty. Is this how you really want this trial to end? Be quiet. How dare you? You're trying to trick me. That's enough. I commend you for trying, Mr. Edgeworth. However, it's clear that the defense's theory is the truth. You're wrong. What you got, Edgy? Such a shame. I'd hoped things wouldn't come to this, however. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Miss Andrews, since you absolutely refuse to testify, it falls on my shoulders to disclose this to the court. Stop. Mr. Edgeworth? Oh, no. Edgeworth, the fuck are you doing? This witness, how should I put this? She has an illness. Damn. Edgeworth, that's a low blow there. She might not have a crotch, but you're kicking her there anyway. What? And because of this illness, she has tried to commit suicide in the past. Stop. Please stop. No matter how much you want to hide it, it's no use. I have the evidence right here. That's the second part of the suicide report. The attempted suicide report. That's what you do now, witness. You know what I'm about to do, don't you? I will now reveal to the court the true nature of the pitiful woman known as... Wow! Holy shit, Edgeworth. What a jackass. The secret of her codependent nature. Having other people know about it scares her more than anything else in the world. Please, please stop. I beg you. If people find out, I'll... If you're going to say you would choose death, that is of no concern. What the hell? Alright. Edgeworth, how can you be so cold? However, before you die, I will pull the truth from your breathing lips. No matter what I have to do. Cold and calm and collected. That's our Edgy. So will you tell the court yourself or shall I? Either is fine with me. I'll talk, but please, help me. Nothing matters anymore. What do we got here? Why do I get the feeling this is going to be something that's going to completely blow my fucking mind? When I first saw him, I really thought he had fainted. Honest. I still don't buy that! When I realized he was dead, that was when I formulated my plan. Once I made sure there was no one in the hallway, I made a dash back to Matt's room. And then, I stabbed Juan's dead body with a knife and ripped off the button. Oh! Oh, shit. Well, it didn't totally blow my mind, but that actually makes a lot of sense. So, someone killed Juan, but she's the one that planted the button and planted it on Matt. I can actually see that being a thing. That makes sense. Then the person talking with me is the killer. But who the hell is the killer? At this point, it probably has to be someone we know. They wouldn't just pull some dipshit out of left field. It wouldn't be people's favorite trial if that was the case. Alright. I can only think of maybe a couple people it could be. Bottom tier, it's Gumshoe. Because he's tired of getting his fucking paycheck ripped. A little bit above that would be Von Karma, Franziska Von Karma, which I don't want to believe because she's an awesome character, and I feel like she probably wouldn't have done that. Also, the killer shot her. He's like, alright, I'll give you a present. Just shoots herself in the arm. I don't know, that doesn't really work. Really, there's like 2 people I'm leaning on. 2 people right now. One, it is Matt. But somehow, when we conversed with him, we conversed with him in such a way that he could have told a white lie. In other words, not lying completely in order to activate the Magatama, but lying in such a way where it's a half-truth. And the other person I'm thinking it could possibly be, if it's not Andrews, is her mentor. And her mentor is not actually dead. But that would be completely ridiculous, so... Or it could just be the butler, I don't know. Whoever that fucking butler is. Seriously, who the hell was that butler? What the hell was his point? Is he gonna come back? No? I don't know. This court case is gonna go on for a long time, I can tell. Just when I finished since returning to Matt's room, I had a bit of an inconvenience. She had an accident, guys. That's why I ended up using the Nickel Samurai's costume. Stab the body with a knife? But why would you do that? Isn't it obvious? To pin the blame on a certain person. A certain cowardly man. What? What do you mean by all this? It might take this court a little while to understand, but... This is the truth. The real killer is Matt. That scumbag of a man. I'll never forgive him. I've heard this line before. I think I somehow was spoiled to this line. I remember this line. The real killer is Matt, that scumbag of a man. I'll never forgive him. Literally, I would not have noticed that until just now. I remember this line very particularly somehow. Wait a minute. Is he really a scumbag? Do we have a Damon Grant situation on our hands? Where he does not seem like a bastard at all until, like, maybe the last half? He's trying to escape his guilt again. Just like last time. Last time. On the last episode of Dragon... Okay, just continue. Last time. So Miss Andrews stabbed the victim, Juan Carita, in the chest with a knife. However, she didn't do it with a murder in mind. She did it with the intent of framing Mountain Guard for the murder. And this is her crime. In other words, what the fuck would that be? Tampering with evidence, I guess? Tampering with a crime scene? Illegal search and seizure? Unlawful displacement of evidence? I don't know what the fuck that'd be called. Like, no one just goes around seeing people just stab already dead bodies. I don't think that's like a thing. Maybe grave robbing? Kind of? I don't know. Stop stopping, or else I can get on with this case, or else it'll never be done. What? How's this possible? I mean, wasn't Miss Andrews supposed to be the real murderer? Mr. Wright, please get over your shock and commence the cross-examination. I mean, this is pretty flawless. I don't think there's anything to it. Oh, man, what do we got here? Alright, well, I know we want to get all over to the juicy stuff at the very end of this, but we should probably get on with this first. What was this plan you had? I knew right away the murder was Matt. I knew because one, he was going to expose Max's weakest weak point to the world. So Matt did this to stop Juan and silence him for good. That's when I thought, I should forge some evidence and pin this crime on Matt. So the forged evidence pieces were evidence with the knife and the button. The first thing that came to mind was to plant the knife.